Welcome back to the Smith Share YouTube channel. Today we're back on the Mark II. We're getting pretty far along. I've gotten the rear beam stuff set up. I've gotten the shifter installed. Just cut a bunch of extra stuff out. Now we're on to the braking system. My thought is it's a lot better to have an actual staging brake, so I got this hydraulic handbrake. I'll show you how it's gonna mount. It's a real simple bracket. I just made a piece of metal and then just set this one up next to it and just welded it in the car so it'll sit right in here. The only thing I did was I found a flat spot and I put a rib nut onto the car so it'll sit just like that, and that's how it'll be in the car. Doing this, we are still gonna have rear brakes because I don't want to give up rear brakes yet. If I have to, all I have to do is just cap it at the master and then just put a reservoir on here. So I do have a portioning valve right here. It's a Willwood unit and I just have it spaced off of the same bracket to keep everything nice and compact. Everything's here. I'll leave part numbers in the description if I can. I've been having a hard time doing all the AN lines and stuff like that, but I'm trying to get it fully assembled for you guys. But here's the plan. The front chamber, this is a 23mm master. This is from a G60, I believe, and it came with a reservoir. I've already cut the tip off because I'm just using a stock slave or a stock clutch master. It's just going to be a blue hose that goes to there. And then I have a M12 to a -4 fitting that's going to go from the clutch. It's going to go from the clutch line to the slave, same style fitting. If you're ever doing that on your own, it's just an M12/1. But the brake master, this is an M10/1. So I'm gonna plug this side of it. Actually, I don't know. I'm either gonna plug this side or that side. Doesn't matter right now. And then I'm gonna have an AN fitting from M10/1 to a -4. And I'm using everything -4 so I have a lot more fluid volume. That's just gonna be one. The rear lines I've already taken out and thrown away. So then the plan for that is to come in and it's gonna go into the brake portioning valve, and it's going to come out, and I'll probably have like a coil set up, and it's going to go into the inlet of the hydro slave, and then I'll have another fitting that goes from here. This is all going to be -4, and then it's going to go from here and it's going to go back. This is all, I'm just getting flex line stuff. I'm just going to buy AN like either Kevlar or PTFE line that's already pre-made. It's going to be slightly expensive. I'll probably have $200 in lines, but right now in my head it seems like the best way to do it. I'll have the line coming from here, it's going to come down and out, and I plan to have it running out of the original Ebrake handle where the tubes would have been. It's going to go through there to the rear beam, where then it'll split off in a T and go to each wheel. You can see I cut out everything. There's no more seat brackets over here, there's no more handbrake. This is, I'm just trying to make it as light as possible, feasibly, if that makes sense. So anyway, I've already made this. I've already taken everything apart. I've put lots of Loctite, lots of bolts, or lock nut bolts, all that. So this is all completely assembled. And now this is just a nice, easy fixture. If I have to take this out and service it, it's just 2 bolts and this whole unit comes out. So this is going to go in the car, but right now doing all of the AN fittings. So this, I purposely bought a Willwood that's a metric. So this is a M10/1 inlet and outlet. Now the other one would have probably been like a couple bucks cheaper, but at the time I bought this, I was thinking of doing everything hardline and keeping it as it was, but I'm changing to AN fitting, so it really doesn't matter. Just got to figure this stuff out. I got to figure out what I'm going to use for the feed. Once I start taking this stuff out and putting these fittings in, I'll show you, and we'll get going. Hopefully by the end of this video, we're gonna have a complete working brake system and a complete working hydro e-brake for our staging brake. Because the whole point in this is, imagine you have a cable handbrake. You got to kind of leech it, you got to lurch it, you got to pull it, put all your weight into it, and then when you drop it, there's always that chance that it gets kind of stuck, hung up. And knowing Volkswagen handbrakes, they tend to stick. So this is basically like a spring. So I'll pull this back and let go. And you can see how fast that comes back. I should have no issues there. Let's get started on this. It seems like all of the M10x1 fittings I got are just too long. And since they're too long, I'm not gonna try to order another set. I just took it to the bandsaw and I just cut a little bit off and then took it to the grinder and just grinded it. Just be really careful with it. These are so fine that it's pretty easy just to get away with just screwing them in with no issues. So you can see, like, I haven't ran a tap or anything on it, and it will go right into it, no problem. So these all use crush washers, and I'm also going to add Loctite to it as well. So just keep that in mind if you're going this route. I assume if you're going this route, you should have the skills to do this kind of stuff. I get as many of the fittings in as I could. Again, I had to cut these down, but oh well. I had to, this one went in no problem. This one, of course, the internet told me a different size, so I have to find some adapter. It looks like if I can find like a -4 to -4, it'll work, because this is supposed to be like 7/16 20 or something crazy like that. So I got that in, and then over here I got the plug on that side, put Loctite in a crush washer, and then over here is the Vibrant swivel that I got on. Hopefully it'll seal, but that has Loctite. This is the one I had to cut down, and it's got 2 crush washers on it, so we'll see how that goes. But now we're gonna take this in the car and mount it for good. It just falls right into place. It's just sweet. That's what you want whenever you build something. Seats next on the list, but so you can imagine it going first, and then you're just coming up and you're coming up and you're trying to hold it to the line, and then you see the first beam, and then you kind of yank it and then let the clutch out a little bit, get the second light up ready, and then as soon as it 3 2 1, let it go. So let it go. Obviously it's not going to go back that far. This will only have a certain amount of throw, and then it'll go. So now we just have to figure out where we're going to run the line through, and then where this line, I know it's coming down here, I'll probably have it like zip tied to here. That's just going to come out the back, just shoot through here, and then it'll go to the rear beam. But yeah, I gotta figure out some stuff, order some lines, and then when the lines come in, I'll show you guys what it looks like. Off camera, I did get all the brake lines in and fit them up. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna show you how my system and setup works. If you ever look at these, now when these come from the factory, this is its own channel, this is its own channel. And from the factory, what they do is they run this passenger front, they run it to this back channel. Their theory is that if you have front wheel here and the back wheel up here or something like that, what it'll do is you'll always have, like, if one of these lines breaks, you'll have opposite corners stopping the car rather than just the front or the rear. But that's OEM. So what I'm doing is leaving the front to both of the front wheels. This is OEM brake lines. You just kind of rebend this a little bit and put it up to the front. So now my front wheels are on this channel. I put a plug in this back channel, and then I have that Vibrant banjo fitting to 4AN. Everything here is 4AN, clutch line as well. You want the most fluid flow you can, especially going through a slipper and a hydro. So this is just like a 30-inch line. It's straight on both ends. Comes up, comes back. I have it going through this hole. I don't really remember what it is, and then it kind of routes around. It kind of follows along, comes down and around, and then you can see I have all the brake lines done. Everything. So this initial one coming from the master, it comes in, comes to the inlet on the hydro. Then from the hydro, it comes out to the proportioning valve and back from there. And everything works, everything's functional. Hydro works, and it's pretty sweet. and then it just runs through the original grommet back here. And then underneath the car are all those like OEM like screw type things, and I just have those little plastic nuts on it. So everything underneath the car on those little screws, I have these little plastic nuts. These are OEM ones. These are really good. You can get them from like Mark 4s and stuff and Mark 3s. They're all over the place. So they work really good. They hold everything up nice and tight. So yeah, that's the brake system done. And thank you guys for watching. We're really getting close. If you guys, we have other videos coming up on the engine side of things and all that. So right now I'm getting ready to move on to the front cross member. I'm gonna be making solid bushings for that, but that'll be in another video. So like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.